I was in a relationship with my 26-year-old girlfriend for 5 months. I am also 26, until I discovered her dishonesty just this week. Her ex-boyfriend, who had just moved back to town from another state, must have relocated with the intention of reuniting with her, given what I now understand. Initially, we discussed her ex's return to town, and she appeared to be quite open about it. I found it strange that her ex was so eager to meet her immediately after arriving in town about 2 weeks prior. I wouldn't have minded if she had told me they planned to meet up at a restaurant or bar, as I would have offered the same courtesy to any of my exes if they visited my city. A few days later, she called me around 4:30 p.m. after I finished work, mentioning she planned to work out at the gym and then head home, which was fine by me. Later that evening, around 9 p.m., she usually calls me before going to sleep, but instead, she texted me in an unusual manner, saying she was exhausted from the gym and was heading to bed early. I called her because I wanted to have a conversation before we both went to sleep, but during the call, I sensed that she wasn't at home. There was a television on in the background, which she rarely watches, and the acoustics suggested she was in a large, open space. My suspicions grew, and after we said goodnight and ended the call, I wasn't ready to let it go. I remembered leaving some contact lens solution in a specific spot in her apartment, which should have been easy to spot. I called her back to ask if she had seen it, and she claimed she was searching but couldn't find it where I thought I had left it. My anxiety heightened, and on impulse, I drove to her apartment to check if her car was parked in her usual spot, but it wasn't there. I walked up to her apartment and, having a key, let myself in to find she wasn't there. After calling her several times with no response, she finally called back almost an hour later. At that point, I was on my way back to her place from my home after calling off work and picking up a few items. When she asked where I was and mentioned she was at my house, I inquired about her whereabouts, and she confessed she had been at her ex's place. My world was turned upside down by her admission. I won't go into the details of our conversation, but she admitted to spending time with her ex from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., having dinner, and listening to music together for hours. She revealed the extent of their interaction, and while I may never know if it became physical, she did confess to lying and engaging in an emotional affair. She had made the decision to visit him around 2 p.m., and when I confronted her about her deceit, I ended the relationship. I doubt she feels much remorse, as she was quite defensive during our confrontation. She wept profusely, to the point where it seemed almost pitiful, and I question how much of it was genuine. I am aware that I deserve better and have felt this way every moment since the incident. She made the decision to visit him as an opportunity to be truthful and to halt her own behavior. Let's examine how the community responds. A man from Northwest Ohio suggests that there's a justification for her dishonesty. Even if they didn't engage in sexual activity, they still shared a romantic encounter lasting 4.5 hours. He advises to proceed without looking back. Prudy Scarata comments that regardless of whether they simply spent time together catching up over coffee they paid for individually, or engaged in unprotected sex, the reality remains that she prioritized secret meetings with him over respecting her current relationship. Then she attempted to cover it up with a flimsy disguise, claiming she didn't tell you to avoid causing you distress. You know, because imagining your partner eagerly leaping at the chance to be intimate with their ex is far less troubling. Uncle Prudy's advice column suggests that, apart from the other two classic excuses of accidentally falling onto someone's genitals or claiming a misunderstanding, the excuse of not wanting to cause worry or stress is another weak attempt to rationalize any form of infidelity. It's not convincing and only serves to make the situation more depressing for everyone involved. Because not only does it make you look foolish for believing such an excuse is plausible, but it also insults your partner twice, by suggesting they're gullible enough to believe you and by implying they have such low standards that they would accept such poor excuses. Writing 3687 adds that every partner has a duty to steer clear of even the appearance of sexual contact with others. The secrecy and the decision to stay at his place are significant failures. Given the circumstances she has created, if she cannot confirm that no sexual activity occurred, it's reasonable to suspect infidelity. Cheaters often think you need concrete proof, like a video of the act, to confirm their betrayal. I'm sorry to learn about the deceit and betrayal in your relationship. Discovering that your partner has been dishonest and secretly seeing an ex is tough. The fact that she lied about her location and spent time alone with him raises serious questions about their emotional and physical involvement. Her admission of lying and having an emotional affair is a clear indication of a violation of trust. Although you may never obtain concrete proof of their exact interactions and whether they became physical, the underlying issue of betrayal and disregard for your relationship remains. I concur with the sentiments of other commenters that her decision to lie and prioritize her ex over time with you shows a lack of commitment and respect. Trust is a cornerstone of any relationship, and once broken, it's hard to rebuild. Her weak attempts to justify her actions, such as not wanting to cause you upset, fall short in a relationship where honesty and open communication are crucial. Her behavior shows a lack of concern for your feelings and the consequences of her choices. Remember that you deserve a partner who respects and values you and is committed to building a strong, trustworthy bond. Although it may take time, by focusing on self-reflection and self-care, you will eventually find someone who truly appreciates you. Next, brace yourself for more relationship turmoil as we delve into the next scandalous tale of sugar daddy secrets. Let's get started immediately. What should I do at this point? I have been married to my husband for 45 years, and just 3 days ago, I found out that he has been using a sugar daddy website. For at least 2 years, he has been engaging with women and exchanging sex for money. To say I am shocked would be a massive understatement. He has consistently lied to me about his actions, but he eventually confessed, although I find it difficult to trust him now since he has proven to be untruthful. At the moment, we are attempting to live separately while still in the same house, but I am finding it hard to cope with this arrangement. I am constantly in tears and unable to eat or sleep. I am hesitant to confide in friends because I worry about their judgment if my husband and I reconcile and they are unable to forgive him. My children sense that something is amiss, but we have chosen not to divulge the specifics as it would be inappropriate. I have sought help from a therapist and I am awaiting their response. I am not interested in couples therapy as I need to concentrate on my own well-being first. He has already scheduled a session with a personal counselor. He claims he wants to remain in the marriage, but I am uncertain if I want to continue with someone who has struggled with honesty. Update: I have decided to divorce my husband after 39 years together. I am convinced that this is the correct decision, although it causes me immense pain. It's only been 3 weeks since I discovered his numerous sexual encounters with various women he met through a sugar daddy website. I am more upset by his deceit about our finances, claiming we couldn't afford certain items I needed, while this behavior has been ongoing for over 3 years without my knowledge. Even after I found evidence on our home computer, he continued to lie and manipulate me. While searching for a photo on the computer, I stumbled upon shocking information. Over 3 decades ago, when we separated, one of the conditions for getting back together was that he would cease all contact with a woman he had an emotional affair with. I discovered yesterday that he has maintained contact with her all along, exchanging emails and frequently meeting for lunch. I often reflect on how different my life could have been if I had left him back then, and I can't comprehend why he insists he loves me and wants to stay with me. I've told him that his words are meaningless and that his actions speak for themselves. It's over, and although I believe I will eventually feel better, it's currently difficult to see a way forward. I have an excellent therapist, but our sessions are only once a week, and I feel very isolated. Many people on this subreddit have endured affairs, but what he did wasn't just infidelity. it was paying for sex. Does anyone have a similar experience? Thank you for listening. If you ask for advice, you'll receive it. Dim Tim from Q suggests speaking with a lawyer about hiring a forensic accountant to review your financial records. You'd be surprised how many people find out their soon-to-be ex-spouse has been engaging in deceitful activities, such as opening credit cards in their name to fund their pursuits. Another user, BiteMe717, advises telling your attorney to ensure you receive everything you're entitled to, including half of his retirement. You're making the right choice, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. He's a liar, a cheater, and a deceitful coward, and his actions of paying for sex are repulsive and vile. Personally, I would confront his emotional affair partner and inquire if he paid her for sex, potentially disrupting that connection for him and advising her to get tested for STDs. When the time comes to express your thoughts to him, don't hold back. Tell him exactly how you feel and how you regret ever meeting him. Never look back, enjoy your life, and start living it to the fullest. Let him suffer the consequences of his deplorable actions. You've got the idea, so let's discuss the update. I commend your determination and courage in deciding to seek a divorce from your spouse. It's clear that his behavior has caused you significant pain and damaged your marriage. It's inexcusable that he engaged in multiple sexual encounters with different women and continued to deceive and manipulate you, making matters even more complex. You've discovered that he's still communicating with the woman from his past emotional affair. It appears that the past is repeating itself. It's disheartening to think about how different your life could have been if you had left him earlier. His professions of love and commitment to you now ring empty, as his actions consistently contradict his words. Heeding the wise advice of Dim Tim from Q, it's crucial to protect yourself during this time. Consider hiring a lawyer and a forensic accountant to review your financial documents to reveal any further dishonesty or financial irregularities. Unfortunately, these events have shown the lengths some will go to conceal their actions from their partners. Remain resilient, and look forward to new beginnings. I emotionally cheated on my husband because I sensed he was going to be unfaithful, which he was. My intuition warned me he was gearing up to be unfaithful, which he did, and I just discovered this 2 days ago. My husband, 30, has previously struggled with emotional infidelity, no sexting, but he would add women from the gym and engage in conversations with them. Things were fine until about 6 months ago when I noticed all our Instagram highlights of each other had disappeared, and the focus shifted to the gym. He began taking more selfies and following more women, which I expressed my disapproval of. In response, he dismissed my concerns, claiming it was just social media and he was trying to increase his following to become a bodybuilder influencer. I've noticed a pattern, and despite my love for him, I'm aware that something is amiss and it's likely to escalate. I've made great efforts to connect with him, but he was so resistant. It's been frustrating, especially since I've sacrificed a lot to be with him. In January, I started conversing with a male coworker, which was comforting, but I refrained from sex as it would have disgusted me, yet I still felt guilty, sensing my husband's infidelity. My husband began his physical affair in March, as far as I know, and I'm uncertain about the duration of his emotional affair. I'm torn about whether I have the right to be upset. I'm confused and in pain, having acted on my instincts, which unfortunately proved correct about his cheating. I regret not divorcing him when he first crossed my boundaries, but without evidence, I was unsure how to proceed. I'm seeking ways to heal and alleviate the pain caused by his actions. We're still cohabiting until I move out in a month, and only our parents know about the impending divorce, making it awkward with mutual friends who see him acting single at the gym or club. I had hoped he would at least wait until I left, but having to witness it is particularly painful as I try to mend my self-esteem. I acknowledge my approach was flawed, but the truth is, I was disappointed, though not shocked. I ask for no judgment. I'm aware that any form of cheating is wrong. Let's see what the community thinks. Tall, blonde and cute suggests you have every right to be upset, but advises rewriting the title. He was unfaithful before you had your retaliatory affair. Essentially, you had a revenge affair because his infidelity led you to reach out, which never resolved anything. Now, you cheated in response to his actions, but was it the wisest choice? I don't believe that's the case. However, what's done is done. I sincerely hope you begin attending therapy to confront and heal from your traumas. You need to understand what constitutes a healthy relationship, so your future significant other will be the right match for you. I advise against mimicking his actions because, although he seems to be enjoying himself, it's actually causing him inner turmoil and draining his finances. He may appear attractive, but by the end of the night, when he's alone in his bed, he's still a mess. He might attempt to suppress his emotions, but they will persist and continue to torment him. I also suggest that you concentrate more on your own well-being, including working out, taking care of your appearance, and most importantly, nurturing your mind, emotions, and spirituality. These are areas he will find challenging, and when he notices your beauty, happiness, success, and spiritual growth, he will regret his actions. He will come back remorseful, realizing he didn't appreciate what he had, promising never to repeat his mistakes, and missing you. You will become the one that got away, the standard to which he compares all others. I just discovered his infidelity 2 days ago, so I was improving myself without even confirming his betrayal. Since March, I've been attending therapy, hitting the gym, and taking care of my beauty routine. The woman he cheated with may be less attractive to me and larger, but she was a willing participant and knew about me. He's been feeling envious because he's aware that I've been looking after myself, even before I knew about his infidelity. I understand you're going through a whirlwind of emotions right now, and it's clear that this situation has caused you immense pain and confusion. It's vital to acknowledge that any form of cheating damages a relationship, and seeking revenge through an affair is neither healthy nor constructive. While it's understandable that you sought emotional solace elsewhere in reaction to your partner's emotional betrayal, it's commendable that you're in therapy discussing your traumas and working on healing. During this challenging period, therapy can provide crucial support and guidance. Taking excellent care of your physical and emotional health is key to your recovery. Engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment and investing in your personal growth will aid your healing. It's natural to feel hurt by your partner's public behavior, but remember that it reflects his own internal conflicts. It's important not to measure your self-worth against the woman he was unfaithful with, based on looks or attractiveness. As you prioritize your own growth and happiness, your partner may start to realize what he's lost. However, if considering a future reconciliation, proceed with caution. It will require honest communication, genuine remorse, and considerable personal development on his part to rebuild trust and establish a solid relationship foundation. Trust your instincts and prioritize your well-being. Healing is not a linear process and takes time, so be patient with yourself as you navigate this journey. Believe in a brighter future while allowing yourself to feel and process your emotions. Lean on a supportive network of friends, family, and professionals to help you through this time. Stay strong. Thank you for joining us today in our space. If you enjoyed what you heard, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to receive notifications of our future content. Until next time, farewell.